Excuse me, sir. You there? Would you like to game? Then game we shall.
Hey guys, Reaper of Souls is finally here. I am so excited about doing this video. It's been something I've been wanting to do for a while now, and I finally got a chance to do it. I apologize for the lack of production here, but I've been really working on my Witch Doctor and trying to produce something that would be somewhat impressive for everybody and be entertaining and cool to watch. So anyways, guys, I've come a pretty long way in my Witch Doctor. I'm really happy with the damage that I've come up with. And the build that I've been using is really good, and there's some variance in this build. I actually do switch some skills, and consistently throughout the game, depending on what I'm doing. So anyways, guys, let's get into the damage I'm doing currently. Are you ready for this? No, but really, 1.27, 1,027,000 DPS unbuffed. That's completely unbuffed, no Pierce the Veil passives or anything. Yeah, it still blows my mind. I'm just like, man, I can't even, like, wow, you know. I'm sure there's people out there that probably do more than me, and I am going to keep improving. I'm going to get there. So I'm going to definitely work on that, as always. But I got some pretty good stuff here. Really good trifecta rings, trifecta gloves. This amulet, for the love of God, I'm never going to replace, apparently. It's a really good amulet. But I'm still running the Spirit Barrage damage, guys, with the cold skill bonus. I'd really like to get some Spirit Barrage there if I can. But anyway, guys, let's get into the build. On my left click, as always, Spirit Barrage with Will of Souls. This thing is awesome for single target damage. It just annihilates anything that I throw it on, and that's what I like to see. It's awesome. Anyways, guys, on my right click, I'm using Acid Cloud. Right now I have Corpse Bomb, but you know, normally I run Acid Rain, which I'm going to go ahead and switch it to now. Acid Rain, and this slot here is actually subject to change. You can change it to Locust Storm if you want. And I'll be explaining why here in a minute. You can change it to Haunt with Consuming Spirit if you want. And then there's also another really unique fun skill that I like using sometimes, which is Zombie Charger with Pylon. And I'll be talking about all that and showing you guys the difference between those here in a minute. On my 1 key, I'm using Spirit Walk with Honored Guest, as always. Mana Return with some Damage Avoid, really good. On my 2 key, I'm using Piranhado. Piranhas with Piranhado. Man, this thing is badass. Flat out just badass. I mean, there's no other way to put it. It's just amazing. You pretty much just pull everything into a group, and they kind of get stuck there, and you get a little bit of damage out of it, but it gives you the 15% damage amplification for 4 seconds. Now, 4 seconds doesn't seem like it's that great, but I'll be talking about that here in a minute. Okay, guys, Fetish Army on my 3 key with Legion of Daggers. Really, really good for the extra nuke and meat shield whenever we come across elite packs and boss fights, as always. On my 4 key, I'm using Big Bad Voodoo with Slam Dance. It just makes me hurt stuff more, and I like that. And allies, too, if you have any allies in the game. But I like being selfish and doing my damage. For passives, guys, I'm using Grave Injustice. This thing is great. As always, cooldown reduction on all skills every time you kill an enemy, and health and mana return. On my second passive, I'm using Blood Ritual. 10% of your mana costs are paid with life, so it helps you manage mana a little better, and it also gives you health regeneration based off your max health by 1%. So the more health you have, the better the health regen becomes. Really good skill. On my third passive, I'm using Rush of Essence with the combination of Spirit Barrage, as always, for the mana return. It's really good. And then on my fourth passive, guys, I'm using Creeping Death. Now this thing is pretty retarded. It says your Haunt, Locust Storm, and the damage amplification from Piranhas last almost forever. Well, for those of you who do not know, almost forever means 5 minutes. Literally means 5 minutes. So if you throw a Locust Storm out, it'll eat for 5 minutes. It'll just keep dotting people for 5 minutes. If you throw a Haunt out, it'll stay on them for 5 minutes. So you throw a Piranha down, it pulls everybody in, and it puts that damage buff on them for 5 minutes. Retarded. Retarded, I know. Anyways, guys, let's just go out here somewhere random. Let's start doing some damage, show you guys what can be done. And then I'll start using some of the other skills and talking about that. Okay. So, this is going to be the damage with my Spirit Barrage alone, with no damage amplification. Yeah. There you have it. Stuff's just getting melted on. This is Torment 2 currently. I can run higher Torments if I'd like. I just been running 1 and 2 pretty comfortably, so I just do it. But yeah, guys, that nuke damage is pretty sick. Now I'm going to show you some damage with the Piranhas by itself. And like I said, you can just drop Acid Clouds on little small groups like that and just get your cooldowns for Grave Injustice. This is why Acid Cloud is amazing. I love it. Let me see if I can find A rift might be a good idea to do. But I'm just trying to give some examples here. But yeah, man, that Spirit Barrage is just like, man, it's silly. So obviously you'd want to use the Acid Cloud for AoE clear and things like that, and it's typically better for doing these types of things because the events you run into require you to kill 100 enemies and within a certain amount of time, things like that. So I really like running the Acid Cloud. But there are some very, very viable possible changes you can make here. So let's go with the Zombie Charger Pylon. Now, I was reading this on a forum, and some people are calling this the Zombie Pull build, or Zombie Pull Jump build. And essentially how this works is, as you know, the zombies pile up, and they jump and hit enemies. And it does a lot of damage. But essentially how this works is you want to use piranhas, pull everything together, and it looks like zombies jumping into a pool. And you crit for 9 million damage. And I mean, that's just the piranhas, like the piranha damage buff. So you essentially could do this, and if you're running in a party with all the damage, buffs and everything, and if you have a Big Bad Voodoo up, I mean, you can just nuke down and smash elite packs really fast. It's a little risky because you got to kind of get up close and personal and hope that you don't get killed. But I mean, look at this. That's just funny. It is just. Oh, here we go. Let's try that. This is actually kind of a cool example I can show you guys. Okay, so you want to throw piranhas for the damage amplification. But you got to be careful of all the ice and everything, but that's what I was talking about. But look, check that out. Look at that damage. That is retarded. These zombie. I think the top zombie actually drops an elbow. Look at it. I'm pretty sure he does. What kind of a... Yeah, that is... What kind of a zombie throws an elbow as he falls? Anyways, guys, so let's go on to the next thing I'd like to talk about with this build, which is, I'm not going to do the Locust Horn because it's okay, but not my favorite. But anyways, guys, Consuming Spirit with Haunt. Now, I typically run this with boss fights and anything that's single target oriented. However, if you're having a hard time staying alive, this thing can be cast on multiple targets, and it lasts for 5 minutes. So here you are. It helps your single target damage, number one. And this is like a small E here, like a little enemy off an E pack. I mean, look at that. And then life gain is just, it's crazy. Like, if I want to, I mean, you can sit there and just keep casting it and just gain a ridiculous amount of life. So this spell is also good for really helping you manage life on hit and life regeneration if you're lacking in those two areas. The downside to this is, obviously, look at my AoE. It's really poor. And that's the only downside to using this. But, again, when it comes to boss fights, anything single target oriented, this damage is actually substantial. The Haunt really does a lot of good single target damage, scaled well with the damage amplification from that and Spirit Barrage. So let's go on to, what was the other ability? Sometimes I use Corpse Bomb, like I was saying. On the passives, guys, you can also change these. You don't have to use Creeping Death. If you're having problems staying alive, Spirit Vessel is a possibility. I actually did Pierce the Veil one time, tried that out, and I changed Spirit Barrage to the Spirit is Willing, so you gain extra mana. It's extra damage, but I just like the mana managing abilities of this build. But there is a lot of cool stuff you can do with this build, guys. Blizzard did a really good job at allowing people to change their builds a lot more now. I would be doing a pet build if I had the gear, just to show you guys that kind of stuff, but I just honestly have not found anything worth doing it yet with. But anyway, here's Corpse Bomb. Corpse Bomb is pretty awesome. Almost 6 mil crits. I mean, that's crazy. And it's really good for AoE clear as well. Really hate these worms. They piss me off. Here you go. Got some AoE going here with the Corpse Bomb. Boom, boom, boom. I love that skill. It's a lot of fun. But typically, I run the Acid Cloud, Acid Rain. Might as well do the Bounty Bomb here, I suppose. The Acid Cloud, Acid Rain just has a really, really awesome, huge radius of, cover area that just covers so much damage. It's really good. And here I have to clear the Cursed Shrine. So here you go. This is what I was talking about. I have to defeat 5 waves. So this is where the Acid Cloud actually comes in handy most of the time. Like pretty much 99% of the time, you're really going to want to have that with you. And that's why. Because of stuff like this. whenever you do these right here, guys, try to keep your Spirit Barrage going constantly, because the more you cast it, the more mana regen you get, as you can see. So that's the awesome side to using that passive Rush of Essence. So essentially, you get to the point to where you don't run out of mana anymore. You pretty much just keep throwing Acid Clouds. Awesome for AoE clear. So this is, I'm actually really glad I got to this, because this shows you a perfect example of what I was trying to say earlier. Gotta be careful though. The damage can hurt. And there I did it. So I get the bonus chest. Very cool. Completed one of my bounties. Probably never, I don't think I've ever gotten a legendary out of any of these chests, but hey, I do them sometimes. Anyways, guys, as always, I appreciate you taking the time to watch my videos. Hopefully this was helpful and insightful, and it can help you guys out. Like I was saying, if you really want to up your damage, you know, obviously gems and things like that help. Keep in mind, guys, these gems scale exponentially now. The last gem previous to these did like 160 intelligence. These do 220. That is a huge, huge difference. So, and these can get even better. That's the crazy part about it. Like, I can even replace these gems here. I just need to, you know, farm them and things like that. So my damage can actually get even higher. But anyways, guys, as always, I hope this was helpful. If you guys have any questions, comments, or concerns, please do not be afraid to ask. If you liked, please comment, subscribe. I'm going to try to keep producing this content for you guys and helping you out. But as always, guys, thank you so much for taking the time to watch my videos. Hopefully it's as exciting for you as it is for me. One thing that we all missed from Diablo was just the idea of feeling your character grow in power and actually earning that through playing. So anyways, it's a lot of fun, guys. I'm glad they changed it. But as always, guys, I appreciate you again, and I'll see you next time.